And that is a function of their values, their behaviors, their talents, things that have happened that they've been involved with long before they came to you. The fact you and I are the same vintage, Rick. I was kidding you earlier, but you know the fact that when I graduated from college and went to graduate school, they dropped the deferments. Now you had to face the draft, and you had to make a decision, and you had to go into the military, and you knew quite likely where you were going to go in that military. Looking around you and seeing 4 or 5 good friends of mine killed in Vietnam, not come back. I mean, these are things that formulate your life. Now, I really believe, and I'm going to go on a soapbox for 30 seconds, that in our society, we have made people not very tough-minded. Because now we've created this thing that this is owed to me, that I don't have to earn it, that accountability is not important, that commitment and discipline aren't required because in the final analysis, life is not fair, so we're going to help you if you fall by the wayside. It's going to become harder and harder for sales managers to find tough-minded people. I'm telling you, it is the cornerstone of sales performance and it's the cornerstone of the entire performance. And as the society becomes softer, it becomes more difficult to identify those who can perform. Now, here's the interesting question. The problem is if you have a high level of empathy and you're an optimist, you always believe that you can bring these people up. Well, here's what happens. You start to work with these people and work with these people. The bar will go up. Now what will happen is the people down here, if they're worth a tinker's daggum, are going to want to jump up, right? And if they're not going to be tough-minded enough. And what you need to do is if you're not doing this, Mr. or Ms. Sales Manager, you need to publish your sales results. So everybody sees them every month. You got a top, you got a bottom, and if somebody's always on the bottom, sit down, have a serious talk. I'm not saying you don't help them at all, but don't spend the predominant amount of your time with those people. Because here's what's going to happen. They're going to make it or they're not, and ultimately what's going to happen is they're going to be ostracized by the other people. And what happens is it will eliminate itself.
So to wrap this up, create a team of tough-minded people. And the creating of the team probably comes mostly in the hiring process. And if you don't have the people on the team who are tough-minded, you're going to have to get rid of them and find somebody who is.
And hire more carefully. See, here's what happens. We believe that when people hire people, salespeople, they look at 3 things. They look at sales skills, they look at job skills. They don't look at personal skills. And so what happens is they'll hire someone from the industry because they've got experience in media or whatever that industry happens to be. They'll presume they have sales skills. The truth of the matter is their personal skills, their values, their behaviors, their talents will determine if they will even use those other 2 skills. So what happens, you see, is you got to look at the background, the history. The only people I want around me are people who are tough-minded. Let me give you an example. One of our salespeople sold over the road straight commission for more than 20 years. You better be tough-minded to drive all over the place with no guarantee of being paid. Okay? Another one of our salespeople was actually involved in the management promotion of the PGA tours. Okay? He was on the road. He was an athlete. One of our salespeople was a college football coach for 22 years. He coached at 5 different universities. He knows tough-mindedness. I spent 14 years as a college football coach myself. And so what happens is there's no place else in the world where you can work 100 hours a week and lose, and then you're reading the paper that you're a bum.
Jeez,
you know, so when some prospect says to me, we're not interested. Now, here's the other interesting thing wrapping up that we have to be able to share, and this is important. Salespeople have to believe in their own heart of hearts that what they do is of great value, that they provide extremely powerful solutions to people. They have to be trained how to determine what solutions they're after and deliver those solutions. Because now you externalize it. You don't take it as a personal affront. But if somebody doesn't believe in their product, believe in their price, believe in what they're doing, even if they're tough-minded, they have this secondary doubt in their mind. I'm going to suggest to you, Rick, that sales is much more emotional than it is even intellectual. And you have to, as a sales manager, get people who are emotionally mature and intellectually tough, and yes, physically tough, to be able to succeed in today's marketplace.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for joining the Sales Buzz. This has been a Brooks Group production.